I feel like lately there's been such a shift. Um, I don't know if I should said hi. Maybe I should said hi, but I just want this to be like a video journal. Um, and I just feel like lately in life there's been a shift, especially for me. I feel like I've gone through such a ground breaking, let's say like year and a half, 2 years, coming on 2 years, coming on, yeah, coming on 2 years, coming on 3 years actually. It's been so groundbreaking for me, and I've definitely have grown a lot, and um, the Lord has definitely used me and has made me grow in so many different ways. Let's say that. But you know what? As you go through these trials that you go through, yeah, I feel like I was going through something that I still am going through, but I feel like um, I've, by God's grace, I've managed to find a bit of a coping mechanism, a bit of a way to like deal with it, and just to be reminded of God's love. And I feel like a lot of us sometimes feel like we are inadequate, like we're not valued, we're not loved. But I'm just here to remind you that you are so, so loved. Like a love that's English, Dalia, find it. A love that's unimaginable, unimaginable, unimaginable. Why does that sound funny to me? But we have a love that's so unimaginable. We have a love that is so unimaginable, that word, and lately God's been showing me that. So to be a bit vulnerable, I'm not going to go into too much detail because yeah, to be honest, I think with my godly journey, God's been teaching me how to be vulnerable. I think my vulnerability was like taken away from like people, um, and it's been hard for me to get back to that point where I can actually share vulnerability. But like lately, God has definitely been working on that with me, and it started off with like friends, and one day maybe I'll get to the point where it could be with like partners and stuff like that. But at the moment, it's getting there. Like my vulnerability is coming along a bit more. I'm sharing a bit more, because I know that what I go through or what I have been through and what God has pulled me out of is going to help somebody else. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I think that we need to remind ourselves that we are all here for a reason, and it's not our own it's not for our own benefit, it's for God's glory. And our purpose is linked to other people's purposes and salvation. So like you have to be able to be like not prideful, and you have to be able to like you can't be prideful, do you know what I mean? Like you have to be able to be open and vulnerable and humble enough to speak on these things. But yeah, so I was dealing with a lot last week. And I think I'm still and I not think I'm still dealing with it, but I really had to pray. And I feel like I'll keep touching my mic, sorry guys. I, I'm not used to this. Maybe I should move it somewhere else. Yeah, okay. And I feel like I don't know, like I was just having a hard time. I'm talking about girl, this I could not stop crying. I was so emotional. And I spoke to my friends. Um at first I called my girl, and I just wanted her to cheer. Like I just wanted to speak to her because like, she's living life in Dubai, like she's always has a story, and it's just like she can always make me laugh. And but as soon as I called, like I couldn't, like something in me was just like, no, you need to release. And I was just like, I call her Shooky, and I was like, Shooks. And I was like, she's like, Shooks. And I was like, I'm not a happy bunny today. And she was like, what happened? And I was like bawling in tears. I can laugh about it now, even though it was like last week. But I was just so sad, and I was thinking about everything that I'm kind of dealing with, and I'm looking for healing so much. And I'm struggling to find I don't want to say I'm struggling to find healing, but I haven't reached the level that I thought I have. But my friends reminded me, no, Zala, you've done so well, and I have to give myself some credit, that of how far God has actually brought me, um, how far God has brought me in this situation, because it really did affect me like a lot. And I just want to remind somebody, like, God will show up in so many ways in your life. And for me, he's been showing up a lot within my friends and my community around me, and just showing me that, Dada, you're so appreciated and so loved. Like, I have given you everything that you need, and your community is with you. It's like right by your side. And like, it was such a nice reminder to have that. And it really strengthened me. I remember going to church and hearing about God's love, and just like, just taking it in. And then I'm reading the book of Jeremiah as well, and it speaks on, like, obviously we know what they were doing up in the Israelites in Judah, like the Israel and Judah, like, what we know what they were doing, honey. They were doing too much. Okay, they were not making the Lord happy. And but it's so like heartwarming to see that even in the sin, God gave them so many chances to fix up, even though they were sinning, even though they were disappointing him, even though they were worshipping idols, kind of like what we do. And God gave them so many chances. And then, like, I think chapter 31, it talks about the hope of restoration, and through that I was like so emotional. And the chapter before that talks about deliverance, and it just touched my heart so much, and it made me feel God's love so much. Like, oh, like, if I could read, like, okay, I'm gonna read verse 31, no, chapter 31 and verse 35 to 37. It says, it is the Lord who provides the sun to light the day, and the moon and the stars to light the night, and who stirs the sea into roaring waves. His name is the Lord of heaven's armies. And this is what he says: I am as likely to reject my people Israel as I am to abolish the laws of nature. This is what the Lord says: just as the heavens cannot be measured, and the foundation of the earth cannot be explored, so I will not consider casting them away. For the evil they have done, I, the Lord, have spoken. Basically saying that nothing can separate us from God's love. Like, there's no one on this planet, there's no man that can measure the size of heaven, that can measure to the ends of the earth, that can go to the ends of the earth. And what God is saying is that there is nothing that can come between his love with you. Like, this is the Lord who provides the sunlight for the day, and provides the moon and stars to light the night, and stirs the roaring waves. Like, are we hearing it? Like, oh, I just think he's amazing. And like, I want you to remember, when you read the Bible, the cheat code is to think of Jesus as you read it, because as you can see through it, the book of Jeremiah just foreshadows Jesus so much, just foreshadows. And like, God, and in chapter 31, he, like, the new covenant is spoken. The Lord speaks about the new covenant that he's coming, and like, just reassuring us that there's nothing that's going to separate us from the love that he has for us. I think I'm just going on a tangent right now, but I just want to remind somebody that is feeling really down, and feeling unloved, and feeling heartbreak, and feeling pain, and feeling depression and anxiety and worry, that there is hope for restoration. Like, God will never leave you. Like, he will never. Sometimes we have to go through certain things because they are leading to the next season, because they're pruning us, they're redefining us. We say prayers like, God help me. We say prayers like, God refine me, God prune me, God make me more like you, and da. But we have to be willing to know that within those prayers, change has to come, and we have to go through certain things for that to happen. And God has to take also things from us that are not going to lead us to our calling, are not going to lead us to a life to be closer to him. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I just want to encourage you guys. You are loved, and you are appreciated, and you are so valued. Just know that, you know, you are a light, like a city on a hill that cannot be hidden. And you are more than a conqueror with Christ. Like, there's nothing that a human can make you feel. Like, a human cannot make you feel any type of way. They are just man. Do you know what I mean? And with that, please always remember God's promises. And he's promised so much in this book. He's promised so much. Like, remember his promises, because honestly, like, the word of the Lord is our sword, is our shield. And whenever I have like dark thoughts or anything like that, I have to remind myself and constantly speak to myself these affirmations of what the Lord has told me to fight back those spirits, like to fight back, you know, those thoughts. I just want to encourage somebody that you are so loved and you are so valued. You have come so far. And sometimes we don't give ourselves credit, nor do we give ourselves grace. I just think everything around me that's happening with my friends and my family and life and just in general has just shown me like that God is like utilizing us all, and that I can see his hand in our lives, even in the parts that we are all struggling in. Like, I can see that he's working on us, and I can see that he's pruning us and redefining us to become the versions that we need to be. Like, honestly, like I really see the shift, and I see God working. And yeah, guys, I just I don't know. I just feel like I just want everyone to just live a happy life. Yeah, but I'm I hope, I know that I may not be where I want to be right now, but I know that soon I'm gonna be there. Why? Because the Lord has given me hope. Why? Because the Lord has plans for me, to give me future and hope. He's plans me for good. He has plans for my good and not disaster. And these are the things that he's promised me, so I hold on to those promises like per. But yeah, anyways, that's me. I'm rambling on for a little bit too much. But yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna go.